Yo, what's going on, everybody? I go by the name of Dom Cruz.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Ill as always.
It's your boy Tony Banks.
All right. They may have seen you a couple podcasts, man. But number one is what? Sticky.
The Sticky Podcast.
Sticky Podcast.
Podcast.
Yeah. That's the only one. You're not on none of the junkies.
None of hosting.
Okay.
I guest a lot just because I'm in the studio.
I see you try to throw a football too.
Try to throw a football?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
and then
not.
It just went backwards. Yeah.
I'm not a sporty person by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a desk jockey, is what I call myself. Like I knew that growing up when I was playing flag football, didn't work out. I couldn't even run.
Damn.
I was like my cardio's terrible.
Yeah.
Played soccer for a second, couldn't do that definitely.
What's the guy from Little Giants?
Johnny? I don't know.
No, the guy that held the clipboard. He was like, I don't know how to play football, so I'll just call out the plays.
Oh, he had glasses?
Yeah.
Glasses.
So you're saying right. You're saying,
Yeah, I'm glasses for all my sporty friends.
Right.
You know?
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we initially had you on, you was included in the voting process 100%. We added your name. You got to see everything going on. So the choices was True Romance, Age of Innocence, Cabin Fever, Mitch Stickman, Lost in Translation, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, The Family, and Insidious Chapter 2. I wanted Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I don't know how we lost that.
Yeah,
That
I
was
don't know
literally lost
either.
in translation. What did you want to
Well,
win?
I mean, honestly, I didn't. Outside of Insidious, which is I probably voted for it. I haven't seen any of those films.
What?
Believe it or not, so like I graduated from UNLV in filmmaking. I have a film degree.
Yeah,
It's cost me a
wow.
lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I hate. And I don't hate. I just don't really prefer to watch films. I like
Yeah.
watching them in the movie theater when they're big, but
Yeah.
I'm not like a film guy. Like all those like film studies, like
Yeah.
Akira Kurosawa's whatever
Yeah.
on the Japanese take. Fell asleep.
Yeah, I feel you.
I love the process of making film
I
and
can see
like
that.
stuff like that a lot
Yeah.
more, 1,000%.
Yeah, that's like me with podcasting.
Yeah, you like
I don't
creating.
like listening to a lot of
Oh.
podcasts no more. No.
No, yeah. I mean, since I started the studio at Sticky Paws, like I only have time to listen to one thing
Yeah.
on the way to work and
Yeah,
from home to work.
yeah,
So
there you go.
It's either I'm listening to silence,
Yeah.
which I do frequently,
Yeah.
or I put on Joe Rogan if it's like a guest I want to hear. You
There
know?
you go, right there. Yeah. What did you want to win? Insidious, right?
Insidious.
What did you want to win?
Either True Romance or
Yeah, I was hoping for that too.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah. But with that being said, man, since this is your shit, man, go ahead and sell this. Have you seen Insidious Chapter 2? No. Do you watch scary movies?
She
You're
was
afraid?
like, she was hiding this morning, so
I
I
don't
watched
blame
it,
her.
and she was like,
Yeah.
cuddled up, but like on her phone the whole. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't you want to commentate with me while I'm watching
Yeah.
Insidious? No, she
So
didn't
do
want
me
to.
a favor. Go ahead and sell Insidious Chapter 2
am I gonna
to a
sell?
person that doesn't watch horror films.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's what
you know
we.
how hard that is.
Hey.
To sell a
We
horror
here?
film to.
It shouldn't be too hard. So she's actually a horror film director.
What? You are lying.
So she
Wait.
just wrapped. We're almost done with coloring and editing on Omakase. It's
Wow.
a film
Yeah.
about a chef eating one of their patrons.
Wow.
So anyway, she's a film. She directs
Wow.
video film, but like
Oh my
she
God!
doesn't like
Now
to
it just keeps
consume
getting. Now it keeps getting harder and harder.
know.
You got to sell a film person
I
that
don't even know
shoots
how to.
these shits.
I don't even know how to sell it just normally.
Damn. Well,
It's, for me,
hey, it's a
hard to-
podcast. We got all day. you know?
It's hard to sell
Uh-huh.
something. If it's around a certain subject,
Yeah.
how are you really sell it? Maybe the characters, and I can't even sell like the character off the top of my head because I don't really know them like that.
Mm.
I'm drawing blanks right
All right,
now.
yo, you got it.
Anything?
I hated this movie.
Oh,
you
you
God
hated
damn.
Wow.
bruh.
Let me.
Oh, so-
can I give my two?
Yeah,
I
if you
can
can
sell
sell
it.
it,
I feel like I can sell it.
Okay, go ahead. then,
Because
go
like
ahead.
I don't
Yeah.
watch scary movies
Yeah.
or thrillers or much because since I started dating Christina, but like this film specifically, it does a good job at marrying like the intensity of what a scary film could be. There's like
Yes.
very little jump
Jump
scares,
scares, yeah.
but
Yep,
like
yep.
just the intensity of
Yeah.
like the acting at some points feels so natural, but then like it's
yeah.
then I would use the film word juxtaposed
Oh.
to another
Yeah.
another like scene where it feels very scripted.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like the director had two versions of himself. Okay, just react, have a good time, and the other one's like follow the script exactly.
Yeah.
But with that kind of combination, you get this very like intense feeling where the intro where it's like insidious and it has that like,
Yes.
screaming at you.
Yes.
Like that really kind of
Yeah.
like sets the tone.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to do that throughout
Yeah.
the film.
Yeah.
Like the ambiance coming into the film kind of sets the tone, and then it's the expectation of like something crazy happening, but it never like fulfills itself. And then unlike a lot of scary films, that actually gives you a good feeling of a resolution. Like I got teary eyed near the end. I was like, I felt like a little emotional.
You are fired. I don't know what he just did. He went into depth and all that shit. It sets the tone. My God, bro. I'm
gonna have to do some.
So I'm pulling in from my education.
My God. Yeah. Wow.
For a
many years of
normal
film school did you
consumer,
go
how
to?
would you saw that then? Because like that just
to me,
went
okay.
in and out.
Well,
my head.
we're
It's
gonna
like,
keep it
okay.
real simple. I don't do demon scary movies. So with that being said, like you said, there's not jump scares. It's more suspenseful thriller more than I got you. Like even when it was in that real quick that scene when it was like all the people was like in the white dresses.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't no jump scare. It was just like we're just gonna.
I was
distract
expecting
you with
like
this.
you to like take it off and be like,
Yeah,
it never
that-
happened.
yep.
You saw the person's face and then nothing happened and then it attacked.
That was it. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
But
To answer your question, so you asked how many years of film school. I went to school for 5 years because of COVID. It should have been 4, but 4 years. But prior to that, I went to a technical high school for film and broadcast. So a while. And so like hearing all the BS knowledge around filmmaking, which is like the word juxtapose is probably like the only person who uses that word or people are filmmakers because like for some reason that's a word we like to use. That's it. So I can be very technical, but trust me, a lot of the words are just like meaningless. Let's talk about how we feel.
Yeah. So this movie comes out. Insidious Chapter 2 comes out September 13th, 2013. 106 minutes. Budget is $5 million. Box office 161. Did anybody see this movie in 2013?
I believe I saw it when it came out. Yeah.
Where were you?
Shit, I was either at. If Galaxy Theaters was a thing, then I was there.
It
It wasn't.
was.
Then I was at Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa Fe.
I think I was at a kickback and somebody threw it on. Only reason why I was watching, I'm like,
That's
okay,
a
this ain't.
boring
It
kickback.
was. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this ain't bad. Yeah.
Is that what you throw on at a kickback? Is Insidious
I guess at
Chapter
that
2?
one, yeah. I guess it was movie night and they had it from Redbox.
Oh,
Yeah.
Redbox. Oh my gosh. Wow. I have a little story about Redbox. So Redbox, just gives you DVDs, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not admitting to guilt, but hypothetically speaking, this did not happen. You could go home, get the Redbox,
and put another.
put it
disc
in your computer,
oh.
put another CD tray in your computer,
And
and
rip
just
it?
transfer the data theoretically.
Yeah.
And then just like you rent it for one day, you put it back in the machine. Now you just have a book full of like a lot of copied
Wow.
films that you can watch at any time. This is before Netflix.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is when
of
Netflix
course.
would deliver your house.
Yeah. Yep,
right.
Yep.
And but of course I would never do such a thing because
Yeah.
that's illegal.
Yeah.
And you could be fined a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of good times with Redbox.
Yeah.
Let's
Personally.
just say theoretically, can you do the same thing with the video games that come from?
Theoretically, 100%, you
Oh,
could probably do
yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. All you're doing
what
is
was it,
copying a little
boy?
.iso file from the thing and then putting it in. There's like the only way they can get around it is if they physically put something in the disk
Yeah.
that is separate from the data that
Oh,
the console
damn.
reads. For example, the Switch
Yeah.
won't accept fake games because in the actual cartridge is like a little RFID that it knows if it's real or not. It's like that BS Keurig cups
I was
do.
about to say the same
Exact
thing.
same
yeah.
thing, yeah.
Wow.
Temu probably is mad as hell that they can't do that. They can't
Yeah.
get away with a little scan.
Yeah. All right. So the box office, it overall does 161 million. But tell me, what did it do the first week?
Oh, 162 overall?
Yeah, overall it did 161 overall. What do you think it did first week?
Well, since it's chapter 2, there's already the hype coming, so people were really anticipating it probably.
25, 30.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 31.
Yeah.
What you gonna
Just
say?
to be 20.
46 million.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, it was number 1 at the box office. Out of what's interesting, this is an interesting stat. So that week, the week of the September 13th to the 19th, it did overall everything in the box office was 107 million. Insidious did most of it with 46 million out of it, and then the family did 18 million out of it.
The
out of
family?
107. Yeah, the family with what's his old mafia guy? What is his name? You don't know his name?
Mold Mafia guy?
Yeah, old mafia. He's in the
A lot of
casino.
old mafia guys.
Not Joe Pesci.
Al Pacino,
Not Al Pacino. The other one. What's the other
Robert
one?
De Niro.
Robert De
Robert
Niro.
De
Yeah,
Niro.
it's about his family and they got to get away from the mafia.
Oh, so it came out at the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
the
like,
same weekend.
oh, I see.
Yep.
Damn.
Um,
It's like Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
type shit,
Oppenheimer.
yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I do remember that.
Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie 39%, obviously. IMDb 6.5 out of 10. IGN, interesting, gives it 7 out of 10 for an overall rating of 4.2 out of 5 with 177 people giving ratings.
I think that's accurate. I think that's how I
Yeah.
feel, more or less.
I think Chapter 2 got them a lot of fans. Yeah.
Because it wasn't just like an isolated idea. It's now a franchise.
Yeah.
By
definitely
doing
a
that, it's like,
franchise.
oh, the creators are willing to explore the world.
Yeah.
Like that really gets people intense.
5 years ago, somebody reviews it said, it lives up to the expectations of undoubtedly a clean, well-written plot. It keeps the audience guessing till the very end. Lovers of the first installment and will not be disappointed. It only leaves you wishing for more chapters. The actor have done a great job. The way it's been stitched with the prequel and is flawless.
I would agree with that.
Really?
I want to know where you differ from it.
Yeah, you
Well,
did.
Because
I
you
didn't
said
like
you
it?
hated it. You hated this movie.
It's,
Oh.
not,
It's a strong word.
it's not needed.
Okay, so when was it? 2011?
2013 came. Oh, the
No,
original
no.
one?
No, yeah.
I guess 2011 is it?
Or is it
I'm not-
2008, 2009, something
Probably
like that?
is that many
2011.
years?
They usually make 2 years, so 2011. Let's just say.
Okay, well, like at a certain year, I don't know what year it was, after like 2010,
Mm-hmm.
scary movies stopped being rated R for some reason.
Really?
Yeah. So
Mm.
I'm like, that's why I really don't watch like horror films right now. They call
Yeah.
it horror or scary
Yeah,
or whatever
yeah.
because they're not rated R.
Yeah, and they started taking a lot of sex scenes out. If you notice too.
Yeah, well, it's not like
Exactly.
the 80s when like
Yeah.
you just
Butt crack.
tits would come out.
Yeah,
and just be
just
like,
randomly. Let's throw some tits in
She's
it.
dying first, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
But besides that, like as I'm watching it, okay, so I watched it on the site that
This
I usually
dude,
go
it
to.
was on Max.
Theoretically.
Yeah, and then ill stands for illegal, theoretically.
Whoa.
Whoa, you should get a shirt made like that.
Yeah, you should.
Illegal.
Yeah, we're gonna take that shirt and make it part of our merch. But yeah,
Shit, what was I saying?
that you don't watch horror movies because
Because they stopped making them like rated R,
Yeah.
so like that blood, guts, and everything like that. And I noticed that they rely mostly on sound now.
yes,
So
Yeah.
that's
Yes,
why,
no,
like,
true.
when I was watching it on, the
Yeah,
place
yeah,
I
yeah.
go to,
yeah.
the voice was like super low, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with my
Yeah,
TV?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
surround sound or whatever. So then I'm like, okay, well, let me watch it on Max.
Okay.
And everything was fine. It was clear, and I'm like,
Oh,
bro, this movie relies on sound more than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
So if you watch
yeah.
this on mute,
yeah.
you're not going to be scared
That's
of
true.
nothing.
I feel like
No, that's true.
majority of films. I mean, I don't know about the 80s. I haven't done this, but like you turn the sound off on any film, and you just don't get the intensity.
Mhm.
I mean, Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. My fault. I was about to say, okay, so like Resident Evil, House on Haunted Hill, and damn, what is that
Silent
other game?
House?
Silent
Silent Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silent Hill, the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Nemesis would like pop out, there was no sound or nothing. You're just playing in the dark, and then when you look over, you see some guy, big as hell. Like the setting was already there, but so that's what would make it kind of scary. Because I mean, like in your head, like, okay, this dude's gonna come up on the screen at some point, but you don't know when.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The
no, that's true.
anticipation is scary.
Yeah,
So,
so I mean, if you put it on mute, it's like, whoa. What am I
something.
watching here?
What I was gonna say to speak to what you're saying is like, so the film my girlfriend is about to finish. So when you make a film, it's really hard because we see films and it's completion all the time. And
Yes,
something that we
yes.
learn as new filmmakers is that you get to, whenever you're creating something, you're seeing it like at every stage, and it's kind of hard to distill what is good at every stage, right? So you film it on the day. There's no sound effects. There's no spookiness. All you have a script with what people are supposed to be feeling,
Yeah.
right? So then you film it. All right, you have it in the can. You start editing it, but you're not editing it to music. You're not editing it to sound. The only thing you have is like and action, and then you hear the dialogue or whatever. But so then we get the film back. We watch it with no sound, with just basic dialogue, no color. It's all like kind of gray or whatever. And you're like, is this working? Is this working? I don't know. It feels off. Like it doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Like it feels weird. Like I feel like you're not getting the feeling you want out of the character, right? Like, oh, there's a reveal on camera, you see the main lead, and you're just like, it doesn't hit. And we had some of these doubts, and then we had somebody do sound before color, and the moment we heard like the swelling of like the violins come in, it's just like you get the tingles down. You're like, oh my God, this is the film.
Okay.
And it's just like, so speaking to like, yeah, scary movies like these days rely on, audio, but I think filmmaking in general, above and beyond scary movies, needs that intensity through the orchestra and so that's why like Steven Spielberg films are so revered, is because he puts almost all of the effort into the sound design, the music. That's why like Harry Potter, like that is what makes a franchise, right? Even Marvel, RIP with their franchises, but like a lot of their original music is like, that's the theme of the the film, and kind of brings you back in. But yeah, so film without sound, silent film, if you've ever watched an actual silent film, isn't silent. There's just an orchestra playing. You will never see a truly silent film.
Charlie Chaplin type joint. They play that.
And there a lot of times, even going back then, like they would project the film silently, but then they would hire a pianist to play sheet music to it.
Yeah,
because people knew immediately that without sound on a film, it's just like a documentary. You're just receiving images, and it's not interesting outside of the feeling.
Have you seen Asteroid City?
I haven't, and I've been wanting to see it.
Okay, that's like one of the movies that I really like in 2023. It's weird, but I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
I understand what's going on. I like that director,
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, love his work. Maybe because I love claymation and stop motion.
Well, he does
films.
a lot of practicals. Very rarely does he use like CG or anything like that.
Yeah,
all of his films are so unique. But I don't think anyone else could do it, because I think if anyone tries to copy him, you're like, like you don't have that language,
Yeah.
Well, in that movie, he has. I mean, it relies on sound, but then the main character has like a lot of internal dialogue, so it just like switches, and you're like, yo, what the hell is going on? And it's like, oh, he's talking to himself. And it's like, okay,
yeah,
but yeah, that's about it.
To go back to what you were originally saying, like, don't you feel like that's the difference between like a thriller and a horror film like that? Like the music really sets in, like, that antithesis.
I can say that.
Yeah,
kind of rolls
because
with
Phone
it.
Booth wasn't playing music.
No.
Yeah, you would just get the thrillers and the suspense about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, horror in my head is gore.
Yeah.
Thriller is suspense, which music plays a lot into that. Have you guys have heard of the shepherd's tone?
Yeah.
So the shepherd's tone, and like it's basically a forever rising tone where it overlaps sounds, where it goes ooh, and then as it gets to a higher pitch, that layer quiets as another layer increases. So it gives the illusion of a constantly rising tone. So it's like, in a situation where the filmmakers are trying to build suspense, you just hear this constantly rising tone that seems to be going up in pitch forever, but never hits like a peak. And that feeling that like for humans, like we get this feeling of like uncertainty and like this like a lack of completion, and it's just like, and if you notice like any like thriller, there like anytime there's like a moment where it exists. Have you guys played, Super Mario 64?
Yeah.
You know when you're walking up those steps and you can't get up, and it's like it's like it like that is the first case of like I think in a game that they use the shepherd's tone to build a suspense and to like really display the fact that you're not actually going anywhere. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, shepherd's tone. Look for it, guys.
Another person gives this movie from 3 years ago. Says 5 stars, amazing film, along with fantastic and spooky thrillers. Before watching this film, you guys must watch the first part. Everything seemed true and real and in its own way. And the story was really amazing. I did not get bored watching the film. And James Wan is amazing and brilliant. Yeah, I didn't watch the first one. I only watched this one.
You haven't ever seen the first one?
He doesn't watch. He doesn't do these.
I don't do
movies,
demons.
man.
I'm a big
do
slasher
demons.
fan, but I
You
don't
did
do
it for
demons.
the sake of the podcast, though.
Oh yeah, and I also seen this before, so I know what I was getting into.
Because it was played at that party at the kickback. Right?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why it was there.
So if it wasn't, do you think you would have still watched this?
Nah, like no, unless somebody pitched a great pitch to me.
Right. That it wasn't a jump scary.
Yeah,
thing,
like
right?
yeah, but now because I'll get into that later, but that's another thing. And then one last review we got from a month ago gives it 5 stars. Fantastic movie as a thriller horror. That's everybody keeps punching on that thriller horror.
What are the bad ratings like? Like, let me know.
Maybe there's no bad ratings.
Oh, come on.
Parker, Kane, Michelle's characters are the best. I mean, I don't go through Coleman. You know, like, oh, this is a bad one. Let me get it. But
I haven't heard.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's been,
I
mean, it's like an average 4.5 stars, is what you said.
From 177 people, they voted 4.2 out of 5.
4.2. Yeah, I mean, that's respectable.
Still high,
you know?
Shit, if you spawned 5 other movies that from it. But yeah, so we do a thing called prequel, sequel, and future plans. So obviously the prequel is Insidious 1, and we talked about this because we did Jeepers Creepers 2. He said we did 2. So 1 was great, 1 and 2 together. He said 1 and 2 Insidious is pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you actually watch 1, right? Or you
I didn't have enough time to watch 1, but I did watch 1 back when it came out in the theaters as a kid, and it was I was into it.
Does 2 supersede 1, or you see where they fell back?
I think you can never rekindle the spirit of the first one when you're first seeing it. I think if I haven't seen anything, like if you watched 1 today, and then watched 2, you might like 2 better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's almost like, and here's like a little small kind of rant and opinion. It's like, this is why movies are dying out and series are increasing, because now you get to invest in characters.
Yes,
right?
That's what I've been saying. Yeah.
Because in an hour and a 30-minute film, right, you get to you first of all, the first films you have to do so much exposition.
Yeah.
Who is there? What's their motivation? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So the first film does a lot of that, but then like shocks you with the whole concept of this like other altered dimension, which is like blows our minds, which now it's a trope, right? It's like Stranger Things, blah, blah, blah. We're used to seeing that.
Multiverse like, shit.
But multiverse, right? Yep. But, when we first saw that, it was just like, boom, right?
Yeah.
But if I saw that today, I'd be like, this isn't original.
Yes, that's what we did for your next. Last movie we did,
Yeah, so the second one I think is better just because like you now don't need that exposition. It gets right into the action. It can spend more time on the scary bits.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're saying. You have to have time where you, like in a series, you grow to love the character and hate him and love him again. In a movie, you don't have time for, you either going to hate him or you either going to love him.
Right.
There's no going back or there's no going forward or back.
Yeah, I'm like Oppenheimer, 3 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
Perfectly. Oh, yeah. I love the 3 hour format.
Yeah. You didn't know if he was communist. You didn't know if he wanted to be on the side or not. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry?
Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because that was the whole thing was because he was a communist.
Is that really? I didn't get that subtext.
Yeah, that's what
Holy goodness.
Did you watch Oppenheimer?
We watched it together.
I'm not making this up, right?
I thought it was just like considered.
Yeah, they're like, that's why they didn't reprise his clearance and everything.
Right, but I thought he was scammed out of it, not because he's actually a communist.
No, I don't think he. But they're trying to.
I see.
Get them. Yeah,
but like the length of the film, I believe, like it allowed us to feel every beat of everything. Like there's no point in that film. That I felt like it was way too long. But I'm sure you guys had a whole thing about it.
Yeah. And then the sequel, The Red Door. Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
That's so The Red Door is the latest one that came out.
Wait, that's the latest. Oh no, I didn't see.
Yeah. So it goes from 2, then it goes to Red Door.
Oh no, I didn't see the
and now I'm interested in seeing Red Door because I remember the feeling I had in 2013 when the lady went to go see Annie's. Yeah, the little girl's sister or mom, whatever it is, and she seen the big demons like, oh, you're a big one, or whatever she said. If Red Door continues from there, I'm going to see the Red Door.
And when did that come out?
Red Door came out like July. Matter of fact, July 2023. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
And that's supposed to be the. Yeah, I'll get to that.
I hate how movies do that though. Like
that's the new style, bro.
2 or 3 after.
Yeah,
but
they're
this
prequels.
fifth one takes after the fucking second one.
Right, it's like it's doing what Star Wars did.
Yeah,
just make the films how you want to make them in the first place.
Yeah.
Like fuck, I feel like they wait until see if it's like going to be worth it to kind of make.
Well, do you know what it is? They don't wait at all. They're just like okay, we need to make some money.
Yeah,
like let's milk this franchise, and then they're like, okay, where's a gap we didn't fill?
Yeah,
and then
that's what I said. When you force shit like that, you're messing up the allure by that. Well, no, 2 minutes before they met Jenny Ortega's character, this would happen before they went to the door. No, don't do that.
And, they're not always thinking about the next film they're going to do in 10 years. So, there's going to be inconsistencies just to make something work.
Yes. And that's where it gets fucked up. Yeah.
So, when did the Annabelle franchise start?
You're actually the wrong person.
So, where that kind of like comes into play, Because they kind of fucked up using like the same characters, I
Yeah.
believe, with the 2 different series. So
Yeah.
I know that kind of intertwines. Because doesn't that have to do with the Conjuring side of things?
Yeah,
Not
that's the Conjuring.
Insidious? But
Yeah,
they
that's
use
the
the same
Conjuring.
people, so it's
Oh,
like
they do? Yeah, they
yeah.
do. Yeah, because the director.
The
James Wan is
yeah.
the director.
Right,
of both.
because it's like Blumhouse is like
Yeah, Blumhouse, yeah,
and
that
they
too,
just
yeah.
use the similar actors
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that gets messy, and it's when they start just throwing stuff at the wall and just seeing what sticks is when it really starts to dismantle the franchise, and then that's when like the people who are into it because of the cult aspect of it, when they start to like go away from it and start to criticize it. That's what happened with Marvel. Like it's a perfect time where like all the people who are super in it would see everything. I don't think Disney killed Marvel. I think the fact that Marvel got greedy or Disney got greedy with Marvel is what killed it. Like because now like there's too many things. There's plot holes. There's this character exists in both franchises, but they're not. They're different characters. Because they have like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which messed everything up. Yeah. It was really fun.
That's kind of how I felt with like this one because I watched like the first, I want to say like 30 minutes of the first Insidious, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't think I have enough time."
Yeah.
Then I watched the second one, but as I was watching the second one, I was getting hints from The Conjuring because I was like, wasn't this dude married to somebody else?" But he was. It
you're
was
right.
just a different character. So it's like, why would you use the same guy as like the main dude in both? I'm like, he's great. It was perfect. He did his thing in both of them. But it's just like, I was like, when is this gonna pop up? But it's not even the same. Series.
Right.
It's
Well,
a
you also are
different
watching
series.
them like too close together, perhaps, and then that like kind of you almost have to reset the slate.
Yeah.
And it could be that the actor just sucks because they can't disassociate. There's some actors where you're like, oh my god, the range is so big, like Breaking Bad, for example. Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad, Malcolm in the Middle, like two exact same characters or two same actor, but like way different like vibes, right?
Still in their underwear.
Yeah. Still
That
in
is
the underwear.
100% right. Yeah.
So I would say, then he probably played more or less the same character.
Yeah, and he probably, he's not thinking that the director is like, this is going to be a universe that's all
of
He's like, I'm
course.
just happy to work. Thank you for, hiring me.
Yeah. And then so my future plans for this series of Insidious of the franchise, I don't know what they're doing, but they need to be giving Jenna Ortega a call for like chapter 4 or 5 right now because she's on fire with the shit. You need to build around. No, they didn't. That's what Red Door. She should have been knocking on the door. Hey, we need you. You hot now.
You hot now.
Yeah.
At the end of this one, back then watching it, obviously you don't know.
Yeah.
Years later, had people become more famous and stuff like that. So at the end of this, we see a smaller version of Jenna Ortega.
Interesting.
So
it's the
Annie,
the Wednesday girl.
Yeah.
See, when I was watching it, I was like, her eye. I only noticed because the separation of her eyes. She has really wide set eyes for some reason. No offense. Like, you're still beautiful.
Yeah.
But like, I was just like, is that her? I don't know. Like, whatever.
and she looks way lighter.
Yeah.
too, because she plays dark roles, so they'd be like dark on her. Yeah.
No, they also filmmakers like to play with skin tones. So
Yeah.
they like filmmakers absolutely do whitewash and or dark wash characters depending on who they're playing in that moment. And it's not like I don't think it's a racially charged
of course
thing. It's
not,
just or they got more tan for that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that's why we do this show, man. We do these shows from 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, and 20 years ago for their anniversaries. So we flash forward 10 years ago, we see her. Now she's a big star of Wednesdays, Scream. What else was she in? Beetlejuice now.
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
You.
And then, so just a little information on the franchise. Two prequels, Chapter 3 and The Last Key, were released on June 5th, 2015 and June 5th, 2018, respectively, with a direct sequel, Chapter 2, The Red Door, which was released July 7th, 2023.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Is there like how much money has the franchise made?
I never looked that up.
I mean, I'd imagine like this is a $1 billion franchise.
Yeah, that's why they keep making them. Yeah.
5 in total?
Yeah, 5. 1, 2, then you got 2 prequels, 4, and then The Red Door. And they're not stopping anytime soon.
Do you think the only reason why they made so much money is because there's nothing else that could compete on the same level?
Well, The Conjuring, all they love
Conjuring,
that
Annabelle
franchise,
did that too. I think
That's all the same house, right?
Yeah, that's all the same house,
Same
but
amount.
If you take that, something else from a different.
A24 does a lot of
A24, yeah.
But A24, I don't think, and I don't know off the top of my head, but like, does A24 have any bigger franchises? Because
what
they
is
do a
that?
lot
They
of
do
like
one-offs.
one-offs, right?
Yeah.
What is that? That
She was
movie,
in, Jenny Ortega was in X too. from A24.
Damn, you told me to watch it.
Yeah.
With Kid Cudi. What is that movie?
Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Oh, Green Room, Greenstone. I don't know.
No. Okay, so it's like
Is it newer?
Yeah, it's like a horror movie. You told me to watch it. They were shooting a porn,
but I can't think of the name.
Oh, X.
barn.
Yeah, X. Yeah, that's X. Yeah.
And then they have a prequel to that. Polly.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a prequel to it.
It's about the lady, basically.
Oh, and that came out already.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I didn't know. I was watching it. And I'm like, yo, she looks kind of similar to the old lady or whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, so this is the prequel.
Oh,
but you wouldn't know.
No, yeah. Backdoor prequel.
Yeah. I think Blumhouse is just. Well, they were indie at one point, but you can't say you have $1 billion franchise and also be indie. That's the thing that so we as a filmmaker, and a lot of my friends are filmmakers too and stuff like that. We go to Sundance. We went to New York for the Tribeca Film Festival, and I'm getting really fucking pissed off of people saying these A24, Blumhouse, all these now very big small production companies are indie. Indie is us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Indie is not if you have $1 million budget, as small as that budget truly is to make a film, you're not indie. $1 million is not something you have investors who expect a return. Yeah. Right? An indie film is like, hey guys, thanks for showing up. I hope you enjoyed the food on set. We're doing this because we love art. Let's hope it gets successful.
I was just thinking about the Blair Witch Project. How much money did they have?
Shit, $5.
No, I think the budget of that is straight up under 10,000. Yeah, and that's just because when they shot that, just the processes took a lot more.
And that was also
money.
the 90s.
Yeah,
there was no iPhones. There was no
That shit succeeded beyond.
Do you think somebody could do that today?
Yeah,
they do it all the time.
They did it right now.
I mean, and it's just not as successful because we have all these other franchises that do just as well. But have you guys have you watched that film and done a podcast on it yet?
Blair Witch?
Oh, no,
the history of Blair Witch is actually really crazy. When that first came out, all the cast and crew were getting indicted and sued.
What?
Because they didn't know it was fake. It looked because it was documentary style.
Yeah.
They were like, "Wait,
POV.
is this a smut film?"
Yeah.
They're like, "No. All the actors were aware. No one was hurt. That." There's a scene where this woman is impaled from the bottom of her to the mouth, and it was so realistic, or it wasn't realistic, but because of how they were shooting it, and it's found footage or whatever, they're like, oh my god, police were investigating this film. They're like, we need you to prove that this is not real. And they did all that, and that added to the publicity, and that's kind of what spurred this whole paranormal activity style.
POV,
and Phasmophobia, the very popular video game now. But that's crazy, and so I don't know why I brought that up.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
Man, I love my rants.
What's playing? The music?
Yeah.
All right, with that being said, we're going to get into stuff I want you guys to know, which is questions about film, whatever. All right. James Wan is not responsible for which franchise? A, Saw, B, Conjurer, C, Insidious, D, Final Destination, E, Paranormal Activity.
James Wan?
Yeah, that's the...
And who he's not associated with?
Yeah.
Are we just open forum? Or just
no, I gave you the questions.
Final Destination?
Yeah, I would say D. He's not a part of that.
Tag along with it.
This motherfucker. That's where.
Is that right?
All right, so the answers that he is associated with is Saw, Conjuring, Insidious. So it's kind of a trick question. So yes, he is not involved with Final Destination or Paranormal Activity.
I felt like those are the two that fell out of place.
Yeah, you're good. Parker serial killer name was A, the Black Gown, B, the Bride in Black, C, the Black Bride.
The Bride in Black?
Bride in Black.
What is your answer? This dude.
He needs to go first next time.
Bro, you gotta get
you like this movie.
Right.
Hey, but you gotta
right. B, the Black Bride is correct. Yep.
We said Bride in Black. It's Black Bride?
Oh.
The Bride in Black. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If I said that, its answer is B. True or false? Insidious is Jenny Ortega's first role.
False.
Oh.
Can be.
Oh, you the first one to answer this mug, huh?
I honestly I feel like I have never seen her younger in any other film. I say it's true.
I have no idea.
False. She was in Iron Man 3, which also came out in 2013 as the vice president's daughter. He probably looked that up because he knew that was going to be it. Oh, you didn't?
I just assumed that she would be on something else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't assume.
Yeah, this was her second.
Her breakout.
Yeah, well.
So this was her second film?
Yes. Iron Man 3 was the first one. And last one, the film starts in 1986. How many years later do we flash forward?
Oh my goodness, this confused me a lot.
I know.
actually.
I have said
I was confused for the first half. I'm like, why they have a JVC, tape camera.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but they're holding an iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's happening? How many years later was the question?
I have no idea.
Well, I would imagine it's just current day, right? So 2013.
That's what I
So
would think, yeah.
what, like 30 years?
So it was 24 years
20
from
years.
1986. So it was 2010 because the first film took place. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
It was only
Oh,
a
okay.
couple of days. Yeah. That's it for things I want you guys to know.
Oh dang! I thought you were about to ask a trick question.
That was
He
the
did.
trick question.
The
Was
first
the
one.
James Wan one?
I thought the trick question was going to be something like, what was the secret phrase, secret word, or something like
What's
that?
the secret word?
I don't know. Was it unicorn?
It was
Or-
unicorn.
No, it wasn't unicorn.
Unicorn.
It was
and-
supposed to be unicorn.
supposed to be
Quesadilla.
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 Yeah, unicorn or
Oh
quesadilla.
no! I mean that would be obvious though, right?
I don't think so. You didn't know?
He knew, and you knew.
Oh, I knew. Honestly, if you would have asked me and we had no other chatter about it, I probably would have.
Oh.
I think it's because he already knows that you look for those extra things. So
Yeah.
he's really trying to find.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I care about the film, but we do MVP, which is most valuable performer in the film.
Interesting. All right.
Honestly, I do Patrick Wilson, which is Josh in the film, because like the way he switched when he got possessed,
Yeah.
you could tell.
Especially towards the
Yes,
end.
you can tell who was Josh and how he was possessed. Anyone else? I mean, maybe the wife could be a second, but honestly, I think there's no second one for me, in my opinion. It's just Patrick Wilson.
Oh, man, I don't know. I actually have. I feel like I don't like the acting in this.
Yeah, no, it's not
I
the
think
greatest.
generally speaking,
Yeah.
the writing
Yeah.
feels, but it could have been just like. And then I was thinking back, it just feels like 2010.
Yeah,
it feels
that's
like
it feels
what
like
you.
yeah.
But I don't. I think if I had to give the most valuable actor, I would probably give.
What,
I feel like
Rose?
it's a toss up between. I forgot the character's name, but the old lady that's kind of helping him.
Yeah, that was
Like
was,
she brought an intensity that because like what makes a good actor is not someone who can like cry on the moment. It's
Yeah.
like someone like how they can portray a feeling that the director wants them to feel is definitely more important to acting because like it's like anyone can cry on command, but can you like display an emotion by staring, right? Like and that I got from that actor.
What about you?
I probably just have to say the little boy.
Yeah, the little boy was one too.
Popped his daddy in the head with a baseball
fuck.
bat.
Yeah.
It's like, yo,
You get the fuck out of
this is
here.
obvious. What happened? He went into like the little dream world and he was like, okay, I got to get my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you get here? I followed your steps. Like,
Yeah.
come on, let's go back.
Followed your steps,
Yeah, you're
idiot.
right, yeah.
Look at the ground.
Yeah, that's a secret one right there. Yeah,
so
where's that
it's
little
just
boy
like,
now?
Come on.
We should look that up.
Actually, I was wondering that. I'm like, what is he doing now?
Exactly. Yo, what is he doing? Yeah. For you?
I'll probably give it to, like you said, Patrick, just because
Yeah.
the time when he was possessed, like even his little like mannerisms, like
Yeah,
he would, like,
that's what I'm
shake his head,
saying.
like,
Yeah.
very slightly. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
But, like,
exactly.
Little shit like that to kind of like show that he's like irritated with the state that he's in, or that he needs to take another soul to.
God damn.
Do you guys watch Arrested Development?
Yeah.
It feels like
Watch a little
Job.
bit.
There you
Like,
go,
gives me Job vibes.
Yeah.
Anyways, just saying that.
And then Cooler, which I just opened the fridge on something that I think is like cold in the movie. It could be a cold line. It could be a cold scene. I thought when Josh was traveling through the realm, I guess he time traveled also in the realm to see his younger self.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You don't know, and you don't notice it until the second movie.
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing I like about those two movies.
Like
he
they
goes
talk
back.
about it, or
Yeah.
they show it in the first one.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what
the
I like
process
about
of
it. Yeah.
But you don't really see what actually happened in the second one, and the guy takes the video and digitizes it.
Right, and then increases exposure, enhance.
I'm like, damn, that's a lot.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like,
yeah, that
I
was,
like
yeah.
I like twists like that.
Yeah.
Though I think they're done too much now these days.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can like expect them. That's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Again, that's the thing about like some of these like early like thriller films of
Yes.
this era. It's just that they establish the tropes that we are or
That is
whatever.
true.
But like you have to put yourself in that time and just
Yeah.
like feel yourself and be like, damn, that blew people's minds at the time.
Yeah,
I
at
think
the
this stopped
time, yeah.
recording right here.
Oh,
Memory
really?
card is.
Oh shit, we're fucked.
No space.
Damn. And this was a good one too. But yeah, for you, any cold scene?
Like I said,
the little boy
just hitting his
with the
dad.
bat.
Yeah. It's like everybody's panicking. You got one son over here at the oh no, mom, and then the mom's getting choked out. The little boy's like,
I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
But
he got time for this.
Yeah. And what'd you say?
I'll probably say the lady slapping the mom because she slapped the shit out of her.
Oh yeah.
Took her throughout the whole house.
Yeah.
Like, she was out for a minute, hours.
Right. This thing about like films love to do this, where if getting hit in the head is just like a temporary, you're not involved anymore. For a while.
Type shit.
I mean, like, no, if you get hit in the head, you will either one like have brain hemorrhage and die, or like you're not just passing out and just being like, oh, I'm awake now. No,
I gotta go save them. Yeah,
you
that's
have a
how to
migraine.
get up.
Your head is swollen. You might not be able to see straight. But what I wanted to mention, like, is and maybe we get to this further in the podcast, but like, is the lighting of this. Have you noticed, like, when you're watching the use of red light and green light in here in the film? I mean, because like the whole environment is riddled with red light.
Yes,
and it's on red light on the possessed, and red light when shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
Like that's where the red door comes from. Like that's in the red gate that's in front of the house. Is all of that is a filmmaker's kind of like just saying like oh yeah, like this is about to happen because they strategically put stained glass on all of the windows, and it's red stained glass, or has components of red or green in a certain point. So if you were to rewatch the film, you'd notice that during all the intensity, you're just like, where's this red light coming from? There's no red light. I mean, they have like a stained glass window there, and then you're like, I guess it's coming from there. But as a filmmaker, I know that they put a light in the ceiling and pointed it down to give a nice backlight, but it's something that you guys like music. We're not paying attention to necessarily, but it adds to the vibe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And something I've noticed, and I'm not sure the significance, but it kind of leads into this, is the establishing shots of the house always has that stained glass window bright red. Even when all the lights are off and they're asleep, it's bright red. At the end of the film, after everyone's kind of been exercised. That stained glass window is not illuminated anymore. And I think that is kind of like very obviously telling anyone paying attention that it's it's done.
With that being said, I got some end notes that kind of goes into what you're saying. What I was wondering is like, why the lights always cut off on demons? Like when they turn possessed, they cut the lights off.
Spooky.
Using all the energy.
My whole thing is like, would a demon really do that in real life?
Oh yeah,
he gonna get you regardless if the lights are on or off.
Yeah, they still trying to use as much energy as they can to become
interesting,
real. To come out in real fashion, not just a tap or a door opening and stuff like that. They want you to be like, let them know that I'm here.
Do you guys subscribe like to do you believe in ghosts? You guys
ghosts?
Yeah, real. All
you believe in all that shit?
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I got no reason to believe into that.
Nothing.
Yes. Matter of fact, that brings up a point. A movie like this, I would go with the Skeleton Key.
Skeleton Key was good.
Something that's kind of like borderline, like, shit, I don't know really much about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, is this real? Because they speak about things like that.
Yeah.
So I would put the Skeleton Key over this movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have forever ago. I couldn't even tell you the plot. Like, it's been so long. We've had Jay Wasley of Ghost Adventures at our studio.
Oh wow!
And and we work with him personally. He's actually helped us create Omakase. He was one of the producers of Omakase.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
But like the one thing, like in my head, I don't believe in ghosts. So when I approached this guy, Jay, and I'm like, do you believe in it? And he's like, oh, absolutely. I'm like, but you seem so rational, right? You seem so of all the people, the least likely to be like, this is real. And he gives it like, he believes that there's kind of spirits or whatever, and that they exist everywhere, but like not like 99% of them aren't there to harm you. But what he says is that energy exists, and this is something that science can't disprove. Therefore, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Whereas, like when something happens, when the fact that there's 5 of us in this room, we give off an energy, and the energy is absorbed by everything. And certain things have a propensity to absorb more of that energy than others, right? So they say when someone gets axe murdered in a room, regardless if like the flooring is replaced and whatever, the walls have this such strong negative energy that emits to a certain point becomes like it emits the energy back where because life tries to find a neutral balance where, you know, hot water, cold water poured together makes medium water. So essentially if something terrible happens in a room, the walls and all the things are kind of emitting energy back into the room, which creates this kind of like suspense or, you know, supernatural feelings. That I'm more bought into that I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Something, but like it's opposite. Like, have you ever walked into a room where everyone's having a great time and you're just like, yeah. And, you know, and then you come back later and you might have a little bit of nostalgia. Like that's maybe nostalgia is kind of the feeling of good energy being possessed as opposed to that. So,
That's true.
I mean, with all of this stuff, I believe that, like ghosts and spirits are real, but I don't believe in them trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff, like exercise. I think that's just a religious thing people did to control people back in the hizzy.
No,
you know?
that makes that.
Nothing paranormal has ever happened to you, or you haven't
No.
experienced anything like that
It's
before?
because like I don't let it spook me.
Yeah.
I think it's
that's
just
why
You
like
the
just ignore that
skeleton-
shit. It just slaps you in the back of your head. Nope.
not
why
today. They're like look behind you. You're like
Nope.
oh hell no.
That's why the skeleton key was so crazy because she didn't believe it. She was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
And then once she, you know, like it's like, hold on, shit ain't adding up.
Yeah.
You know, this is kind of different, and she was already trapped because she started doing research about it, and it's like, oh shit, I believe in it now. It's too late.
Mm.
But yeah, I believe humans are just energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Souls are energy.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. Humans are just
Because
bags of
when
meat.
someone just like passes away, like when your grandma or whoever that you have been around for so long or whatever, and then they pass away, and then you go to their house or you're used to them, like you could hear their like when they walk up the stairs. When someone walks up the stairs, you know who it is
Right.
by the air around them or whatever.
the
or-
cadence of the footsteps.
yeah, by all of that. But then when they pass away, and you still get that same feeling, like just a brush or a rush of just, I don't know, air running up the stairs or something like that. Like you're like, damn, I feel that.
Interesting.
I know who that is.
Are you guys familiar with like the phenomenon that happens to people who get like limbs amputated?
Oh, I heard about
yeah.
that.
They like
yeah.
they feel their fingers still, or they feel like their finger itches,
Yeah.
but they have no fingers
Yeah.
or arm. And I think that in the same way, it's like maybe like your loved one or was amputated out of your life, but like that kind of reception is still like looking for it. So anything that's similar to it, you're like, oh, that feels like what would happen, or those steps, those creaks are like, you know, very close to, or maybe they are, and you're just like, that's it. But it's obviously maybe you're like cat or something.
Yeah. Or when you get a kidney transplant, you feel the person's shit through the kidney.
I mean, that'd be crazy. I've never had a
Man.
transplant, but you know, let's
Yeah.
hope when I do, I get some not a serial killers. You know,
damn, yeah.
It's like, you guys feel like you want to eat human?
Right,
Interesting.
yeah.
Turn into
Jeffrey
Jason.
Dahmer's
Yeah.
fucking kidney.
Yeah.
You try to eat regular food, like, no, I don't eat humans.
Jeffrey Dahmer's a good guy. He was an organ donor.
You can play Jeffrey Dahmer. They
Oh,
do,
yeah,
They
with
do a
that, yeah.
Hulu edition. You got it.
Oh, man.
You got the role. With these type of movies, I hope they find more creative ways to call on spirits. We got to stop with this rolling the dice and the Ouija board
There's only
shit.
so much you can do.
Yeah, you can call them on the phone. Shit.
Hey, yo. DTF, bro?
Or
You're right.
Signal.
And they also,
Something,
they also
bro.
gotta keep it real with like
Yeah.
shit that they use. In
Yeah,
real life,
yeah.
too.
Think about.
Oh, speaking of real quick, so call on the soul. What if we're doing a fucking horror movie, and you know, 2023 people podcast, and then we just see the fucking knob go up, and they're talking to us through podcast, and
I mean, that's
through a
one way to
road
do it.
cost. That'd be crazy.
It's
So,
like, or what a way to like have a seance is everyone put on their headphones and do a podcast.
Yeah.
But you're speaking to it, and then you hear the ghost in the headphones.
type
You know
shit.
what? That could
I
possibly
know, it
happen
could.
because there is a machine that like it goes through like
EF frequencies or something.
yeah,
Mhm.
all of them, and then whatever they pick out, like you can hear like
Yeah.
them saying like hello or
Mm-hmm.
come get me or
Right. Ghost Adventures,
It
like
was
they
him,
love that. They
yeah.
have those devices where they
But
like.
to switch that around, you can make the telephone game where you whisper something
Yeah,
to
yeah.
somebody's ear or whatever. You just put a twist or play on that, like everybody put on headphones, cover
Oh
their
my
mouth.
goodness.
And
That's
then
how Truth or Dare kind
who's
of did
speaking?
it.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Truth or Dare? That's how you would do
Yeah.
it. You ever seen the movie Truth or Dare?
No, I saw a bunch of. No, I never actually
All
seen
right.
it.
So what happens is a spirit comes and they like Truth or Dare.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep pressing true, but eventually you're going to have to dare.
Oh, they make you do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and then after that, then you get possessed, and I go to him, true for dare. And then that's how it keeps getting passed around. But at the end of the movie, she did, the character was great. She was like, she gets on YouTube, is like, true for dare, and everybody's watching. So now you can't get one person, it's passed on to everybody, so the demon can't keep up.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, that's...
Now that's an interesting twist on how to solve it, instead of just like have an exercise, right?
I'd be like, well, I guess I'm fucked.
Well, I mean, there had to have been like 3 or 4 people that got possessed, and it was just like, but he's like, man, I feel possessed, but like my possessor's lazy or something. Like he has too much on his plate. Like, man, I really wish you would just get in there or get out or like do something, brother. Like, that's right. I love the idea of like you're doing like you're in a circle and you're like doing the telephone game, but like it's like the first person says like I really like Jimmy, but at the end it's like I'm gonna kill you, and it's just like who did that? It's like I said this, like no one said like I said this, and it's like oh my god, that's a way to communicate.
No, you said it.
Yeah.
No, I heard that from you. No, I heard that from you.
If you had the gift to go between realms, what would you do with it? How would you handle? Would you even attempt?
What was the question?
Realms, how he was able to go
realms?
Realms.
Oh, if I could, fuck no.
You wouldn't?
Fuck no.
Between myself?
Like whatever the kid was doing.
Oh.
Yeah, he just entered the realm, right? I mean, he has access to it now because he's just
right,
right.
Yeah, sure. What would I do?
They did allude in the film that it's not necessarily used for negativity, that realm.
Like,
and I don't know if that's ever been explored in the franchise, if like this realm is inherently negative. But like I think we just have seen negative creatures in it.
There you go.
Actually, no, it was the old lady, Elise.
Elise.
She was saying that like there's a better place than this. This is like a transitory state, which doesn't inherently mean that this is a negative state.
That's true.
So I could imagine that it's spooky because the filmmakers made it spooky. But I'm sure if like the person who wrote the script was probably like, yeah, this is just a transitory realm where demons who aren't completed or don't like. They manipulate but I'm sure the nice people, probably just move on to the better place.
I think that's why we seen the bodies with the sheets on them, because people were too scared to move or to, just let go.
I guess they were alive and rotting because they were smelly, I guess, which you can rot in the realm. Who knew?
I got the scene with the tin cup, and the lady asked her like, what should you do on the other side? And then she was like, just act normal. Like, you remember that scene? It's like, what should I do? He was like, just act normal.
The little kid?
It was like, it was like with the tin cup, remember?
Yeah.
And the, what was it? I think it was the demon that asked her, the little boy with the tin cup, and he was like, just act normal.
Oh, when she ran out of the closet?
Yeah. Like, bro, why you're a demon trying to get my help, and you just fucking run to the other side of the room. Like, if you want my help and you're a good demon, just act normal.
Yeah. Just be like, hey, yo.
Oh, you're talking about when with Peter, whatever the fuck his name
whatever
is.
his name is, she
They had
called
the wig
him.
on, They took the wig off and then he said, just be normal.
Yeah.
Just be normal. Yeah, interesting. That's
it was like, all right, was that a filler? The mother's death scene that read like the blocks of the character, which means like mother of death. He was like, what that mean? Mother of death. Like it literally said mother of death. He's like, what does that mean?
Like when he said, take it literally, I'm like, okay, so they give birth to death?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what they were alluding to of the bigger monster
Parker.
at the end.
Yeah, he gave birth to Parker. Which is
the mother of death is, we actually didn't even get to see.
Definitely. And that's probably in the red door maybe, with that one that was following the girl and she looked, oh, you're a big one. Yeah, maybe that's what that is.
The mother of death.
Yeah, remember?
Well, I just took it like literally. Like,
the dude asked, like, what does that mean?
Oh, his mom. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So you take the mother part literally.
The death of the person that's been causing death on everybody else.
That's what I thought too.
Death,
my literal is not very literal, I guess. That's way more literal.
Yeah. What's so crazy? This movie had me glued to the screen 10 years ago, but now I was just like, it's probably not too much impressive. Like you said, 10 years. It didn't age well. In my opinion,
this movie is not a streamed movie.
Yes,
this is a movie you see in the theaters.
Yep. Yep.
And actually, to kind of go on a side tangent, I think that's the problem with a lot of films. It would be better if you forced them, and that's why a lot of people are like, "Oh, Quentin Tarantino will never release a film. Like my films are meant to be consumed in theaters." I'm like, that's true, but like now you can tell a film that's meant for streaming versus because I've ever seen a streaming film in a theater, like where they just do. Like I don't know, like what
it was the Onion, the Glass Onion, or the one from Netflix that sequel with
the Glass Onion.
Knives Out?
That was Knives Out part 2. Yeah,
it was like the
in the
sequel
theaters and then it was really for streaming. Yeah.
Right. Like, but like you can tell, like if they don't, because when filmmakers make stuff, they are making the film for the destination. And for the longest time, films were always made to be seen huge.
Yeah.
And then they made the compromise for agreed reasons to make it fit for DVD or whatever, smaller players. But they knew you were sacrificing something, whether it's the sound quality or image quality, color, or whatever. But now it's just like, shit, like, are they gonna be watching it on the phone, on their TV, on their computer, or are they gonna see it on the film, the big screen? So producers are now like, make it for the phone, make it for the phone, right? So it's no longer a silver screen that's like 80 feet tall. It's now a phone, but then because theatrical releases sometimes work well, they put those things that are meant to be on a tiny screen on a bigger screen, and it doesn't look right. Like the framing is different, the way that they shoot it is different, the sound is less surroundy and more just coming from the front.
Then towards the end of the film, Tucker he like breaks down the door after the action is done. It's like, why add comedy relief? Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, with the whole like laying on
he
top.
broke down the door. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
he's
like, I'm finally here.
Well, and also like the side plot with them being gay or something.
yeah. Like, okay,
Oh man.
you're destroying your own film at this
They're
point. If I'm
like,
supposed
I
to take
can't
you
wait to do
serious-
it.
And he just left his hand there. He was.
It's like,
Like Saul would never.
And then
Saul's not playing those
stabbed
games.
And he just conveniently
Lands
landed
on
on top of him. It was
I
like,
think that's like haha gay people.
Yeah,
2010.
There you go.
comedy,
That
know?
type shit. Yeah. Then great cliffhanger. I can't argue the fact that when the lady went there again with this, oh, you're a big one, and then you just cut Insidious Chapter Part 2. Like that was a kind of fire cliffhanger. Then you gotta wait 10 years for it.
Yeah.
That's nuts. You know how crazy that is.
It just, distance makes the heart grow fonder. If they made it too early, it might have not done well.
True. That is true.
Yeah, but they also did the first film have a cliffhanger? Probably not.
Did it have?
I only watched the first.
Like 30 minutes of it.
okay.
If I had to predict, I bet the first film did not have a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because usually the first films don't. Because especially
don't know if
from
you're gonna get a second
indie
one.
productions, because
Yeah.
they're just like, I mean, this is a film, it's a concept, we're gonna take a chance. But now it's like de facto standard.
Yeah.
If your film doesn't have a cliffhanger, you've just castrated yourself from making any more money from that
That's
franchise.
true. Yeah.
That's what Marvel does.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's why you got the post credits. Then one more thing I got from my end notes, and we got a couple more things, and that's wrap. They did me dirty at the end of this. So it plays, and then guess what comes up? Fucking Conjurer, Insidious Chapter 1 starts playing. I said, nope. Cut that shit right off. Who told you? Does it look like this is in my vibe? I pressed this one time.
Yeah, do they have on HBO Max or just Max now?
Yeah.
Do they have like the incognito mode where like you can on Netflix and a lot of other you can browse anonymously, which means that you're not messing up your algorithm.
Yeah.
Because you ever go down memory lane on Netflix, you're like, oh, I want to watch SpongeBob for a second. I want to watch Fairly Odd Parents, but you don't want it to like think that you're into that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like, I wonder if Max has something like that, and probably we should have done that for all of our.
Do they have a
algorithms.
reset algorithm button on anything?
I wish they did.
Yeah, I don't think
Because they need one for YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
no, they do.
I swear.
No, dude. They
You watch
definitely
like
do.
2 videos or something.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, no, I don't like this.
Or you
I was just
subscribe to
curious.
somebody you never see him again. Like, what happened to this person? But one last question for this one: is this film important to the horror demon genre?
No.
I think. No, not the second one. The first one, definitely.
Oh, first one.
I think
okay.
the second one just milked it further.
Yeah.
You know,
Is this franchise important to the horror demon genre?
I feel like yes, in terms of the newer end, because comparing it to other franchises that we have or other movies that we have for nowadays, it is.
What else do
one
we
of the
have?
best.
Well, you
That's the
got
thing.
Conjuring. That's one. You got Exorcism. That's already top 1 and
like,
2.
If that's,
But that's
one
kinda-
house, is just one house doing the same thing,
No,
right?
the franchise. It's a franchise though.
Conjuring,
Yeah, Conjuring.
Insidious.
That's two
Quesadilla. What'd you
I
say?
said Insidious.
It's two. Insidious is
the
a different thing.
Annabelle, like that.
No.
I consider
Annabelle's
that
in
all that.
Conjuring. Insidious is
Wait.
not connected to this in any way.
So it's not under one umbrella.
It's
I mean,
under
under
the
the same-
Bloom House. Yeah.
But
Bloom
that's
House
what I'm
something.
saying. Like, I can't really respect it if everything is coming from Bloomhouse.
What if they're
I
the
need
best people
something
doing
else,
it?
something different.
I think they found like a
niche.
methodology
Yeah.
to like
And they run
capture a
with it.
certain aesthetic. And I think they're placating to like, okay, the Insidious and all these early films created a demographic of people, and now Blumhouse is obviously going to keep feeding into that demographic. I think that the Blumhouse created something and they're successful for it and they deserve every dollar they get. But like they created something. But now I don't think it's doing much. There's like, even like when was the last time a Paranormal Activity came out? Like
it came out in Paramount Plus 2021.
Way too early.
When was the last time a good Paranormal
Well, that's my
Activity
point. Is like at a certain point,
3?
you create something, you establish it, you like you're the first, you're like the best, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, cool. We respect you for what you did, but like sometimes you just got to move on.
Oh yeah, no.
And
100%.
I bet the creators of all these, like even Blumhouse, like if you look at the leadership of Blumhouse, like or the people who do it, I bet it's not different directors now. I bet it's different cinematographers. I bet it's different writers.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, those people retired off their fat stacks that they got, and then they're just moving on to better, more passionate projects. And but then the company's like, well, we still gotta make some money, and we're gonna hire somebody who captures an aesthetic. And now it's like a feedback loop. We're like, okay, if people expect this, let's do this.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to switch it up because the last thing you want is create a film that everyone expects something, and then it's like something way different.
Yeah.
Then you're like compromising the integrity of what you expect. So. As in 2010, 2013, I think they were amazing. Now, I mean, I haven't seen any of the recent films. There's like little to no hype about it personally.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
But I also think it's subject to like just there's way too much content now.
Red Door kind of I heard a lot of people talking about that one. But other than that, nothing else.
Yeah.
Even when the one before they came out, or that might have even been Conjuring, but that one was
I feel you. Yeah.
Horrible.
For better or worse, do you think this movie would work better as a POV? Like example, Blair Witch. Blair Witch.
Nah.
Especially for the second, like this is the second installment, so for them to just kind of go.
Well, what about when they're in that
left?
realm and it wouldn't switch to POV?
That was interesting.
Yeah,
that was definitely an homage to Blair Witch.
Oh yeah, no, all of it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I think this found footage is spookier.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I wouldn't like it, or I would take it as a POV or whatever, is because if you're trying to introduce me to a world, like I want to see the whole thing. I don't want to see it from your eyes only.
Yeah.
That's when you throw in like the little details of this and that and this or whatever.
Okay.
To make me really appreciate it. Like,
That's a good point.
This is why I like it. But if I've never been there before and I'm looking it through your eyes, I'm like, okay, you're scared of a dead dummy basically in front of you. You just got to remove the cloth or whatever, you know? So
I don't think it. I think that's a great point. That like Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity, like the POV security footage kind of situation, it doesn't lend itself to narrative. It's almost like it requires like almost like a stage play.
Yeah,
like they have to like tell you details. You can't assume them. The cool, like it goes back to the music, the red light, the framing, how they shot it. Like that is telling you so much more about how to feel and what the directors want you to feel than what's actually being told on screen. And I think a POV situation kind of like it has a purpose, which is like, oh my God, it feels real. But outside of that, it's actually taking a lot away.
Yeah.
Because like if you saw a POV thing, but it was like lit like a movie, you'd be like, it feels off.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't see POV and like lit, right? That red light wouldn't have played well if the whole thing was POV. You would obviously need a lot of practical. It's like, why does somebody put a red light in their house? That's dumb. That doesn't feel real. Now as POV is like taking me out of it because I'm seeing that there's production design, you know? But maybe I'm just a filmmaker and I'm way too analytical. Maybe
that makes
people would
sense
like
too.
it.
it worked through the eyes of Chucky. And
I didn't see that shit.
You never seen Chucky?
Not the one, the new one?
No, not the newer one. But like the older one. No,
the
I'm
old
just saying
Chucky?
like when she like picked him up and she's like, talk, goddammit.
What was it?
gonna
Michael
throw him into
Myers did POV. It was actually the first film to use POV Steadicam, which is like a certain device to help flow a camera in film ever. And it like because before that, everyone was used to seeing films either as tripod locked off or dolly left, dolly right, pan up, pan down, right? Or like helicopter shot, something that's like obviously, or on a car. But it's never been done before where it's like you're being like lifted through and you're looking at things and it's smooth and it's like the door opens, you see the hand grab from behind the camera. Because before, like the camera was never. You weren't supposed to be aware of the camera, but now all of a sudden on a POV, you know that the camera's there.
The water splashes on
right?
it.
Yeah, exactly. like that actually the water splashing on cameras is like or on like the lens kind of situation is like a very, very new concept, and it actually didn't exist until GoPros came out.
Oh.
So like cameras like the blood splatter on like the screen or like the kind of thing when right?
Yeah.
It wasn't really done until like handheld devices were a thing when like action sports like mud being slung on the camera. It's like, oh, and you're very aware that it's there. And if that happened on this, like all of a sudden this like the like the lens had blood on it, you'd be like, oh my God, like why are you taking me out of the film?
Yeah.
Like,
It's not Deadpool.
Yeah.
Last note, I got like 10 minutes left in the film. Did you peep the Red Door, which is the latest movie to the which is the Red Door? Yeah.
Where is that? Right? Is that the front door to their house?
I
Like, where's
think
the
it's-
red door?
Yeah, I don't know where is the red. They didn't really
Because they have a
explain
red
it,
gate.
Yeah.
In the film, but was the door red? But it didn't because it had like stained glass on it on the.
No, yeah, it was a red
I
door.
think so, because even in the first one, I think the actual red door was like a closet door.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
So
think this
yeah,
one was an actual front door.
yeah, front door. Yeah.
So it was alluding to a different thing.
Yeah.
The red door,
Yeah,
perhaps.
yeah. I
Maybe
guess
they.
so.
I mean, after the second in the
Yeah.
installment, like now the writers are like, okay, like there is definitely gonna be something. They probably had an outline of what the third
yeah.
film would be.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably just been like, yeah, let's just table it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
so
then-
now it's here. I'm gonna watch 7 minutes of it. If it don't intrigue me, I'll turn that shit off. But Travis, thank you for joining us, man.
Of course, this is
Appreciate it.
exciting. I love.
You have broke
loved it.
history.
I broke history.
You have the longest running episode at 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry for
Yeah.
everyone listening. I hope I was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, no, you definitely was. Yeah. But before we get out of here, we're gonna just announce movies that are up for next week, up for voting. In '93, you got Striking Dentist, which is Bruce Willis. He is a cop from Pittsburgh. You ever seen that with Dennis Quaid? Probably not.
Probably.
2003, we got Cold Creek Miner, which is with Dennis Quaid again. Underworld, action horror film. The Fighting Temptation with Beyonce and Gooding
Cuba?
Jr.
Gosh,
Yeah.
she acted a lot.
Everybody does. I forgot myself. Secondhand Lions is American comedy drama. In 2013, we got Prisoners, which is a good one with Jake Gyllenhaal and Viola Davis and Terrence Howard. And we got Enough Said, which is a romantic comedy. And you got Rush, which is a biopic from what's the dude name? I think Mario Andretti or something like that, or Formula One driver. But yeah, that is what we have for next week.
I didn't see the posters.
That's a toss up. I
Yeah.
like I would have to like you know,
Yeah.
I think there should be I guess that's called a trailer, but I wish there's something that gave you spoilers for a film that you could watch like 5 minutes of the the film in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
like
you
a
could you
real-
get spoilers, but you can get the vibe. And then you like that'd be cool.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be out of Prisoners or Underworld.
Underworld.
Yeah.
Underworld. I that rings a bell. I think that might win.
Yeah,
Might
it
be.
might be. It's with vampires and yeah,
I'll vote for
Underworld.
that one.
Is that the
Yeah.
one where like the sprinklers are like blood?
I think that's Blade.
That's Blade.
Yeah. I was about to say. I think I know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Blade.
I gotta watch Blade
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. One last time. So it's your movie, right?
Omakase. Yeah.
You want to get it? You want to replace him and say your movie? Are you shy like that?
I can say. it.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Give it the movie.
Well, it's not out just
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
It's
when-
gonna go through like the film, the
okay.
circuit, like the short film circuits.
Okay.
But it's almost done, and it's so Christina's made 2 other films.
Oh, wow.
Oyasumi. Oh wait, not. Just one other one. So
Okay.
we're gonna make a 3rd one.
Oh,
So
okay.
Oyasumi, which is again, it's a whole relationship between the girlfriend and then the boyfriend ends up dying. So
Shit.
there's she doesn't like scary movies, but she likes making thriller kind of suspense, like
okay.
romantic thrillers kind
That's
of thing,
dope.
kind of
Yeah.
like you in a way. Like we watch that and like
Yeah.
we see parallels and we're like
Yeah.
interesting. Her other inspiration was Ratatouille. Don't ask me why.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Okay.
The color of Ratatouille she likes, and she's we're adding it to the film, but it will be coming out and it'll probably be available to watch after all the circuits. So probably like mid next year sometime.
Do we have a trailer? We do.
We do
Where-
have a
is
trailer.
Is the trailer released yet?
Is it? Where can you watch the trailer somewhere? I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
put it in the
yes,
description,
and we'll,
we can.
we'll react to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we'll react to it.
She's
yeah.
like, oh.
yeah.
Where can we see the first film?
On Instagram? You mean YouTube? We'll send you a link.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
definitely,
either
yeah.
on Vimeo or on YouTube, and you
Yeah.
can watch it there.
Okay.
But this
About
was done while you were in college, right? So like our style and has changed a lot, but like you can tell the inspiration hasn't.
Yeah.
So you can feel the same director, but like filmatically, if that's a word, it's like the same. Like it's just better. Like cinematography's better. There was more budget in the Omakase. But I'm really excited because as you guys been doing so many episodes of this, like you just get better over time.
Yes, you do.
And we
you
strive.
definitely do,
We strived with Omakase to put time and effort into it.
Yeah.
The credit, like there's how many people involved in it? Like 50 or 60 people involved. And that's just like that's everyone
hard to do.
And like believe it or not, and I'll end you guys on this. I'll end this on that. Is I actually met her on set of filming Omakase.
That's some Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively type thing.
Quite literally, it was my birthday. I showed up to Grip to like set up stands and stuff like that, and then she fell in love with me.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then I fell in love with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too simple. I'm sure we're missing a lot, but yeah, that's it.
How long is like the first two films?
The first film was like 10 minutes.
First one was.
Is about like 20, 21, 25.
Yeah, so they're like so first one's 10 minutes and the second one's 25-ish minutes, and but it's amazing what we were able to accomplish.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Because I'm surprised. Because again, like when we saw that first edit with no music, we're like, and then the music came, we're like, yes, and then the colors are like, oh my god, it's a film. It looks great.
Yeah. When you say color in Ratatouille, are you talking about like when he gets an idea? Because when he gets an idea or when he tastes something, he's like, you see like yellow, green, pink, blue. Like that?
You're a
like
filmmaker now.
Yeah, you're looking at film knowledge in the film, and not to spoil anything. So during those intense moments, we utilize the color red as well.
Okay.
The color red is used in the film to display emotion that's nonverbal, and that you will obviously be able to be like, oh, okay, like shit's gonna go down, or has gone down, or is thinking about going down, because blood plays a role in both of the Omakase and Oyasumi. And what was your question?
Did you guys edit in-house or did you guys send everything off to?
And so that's what makes good film good, is that if you try to do everything yourself, you always make shortcuts, not because you're lazy, just because like you're not the best in each niche. The reason why I like making films over watching them is because if you really like, I'm a cinematographer, so that means I focus on lighting and camera and framing and stuff like that. So that means if I do my job and I just hyper focus on just those aspects of the film, those will be the best.
Wow.
And then I'm not going to call myself an editor. I can edit.
Yeah.
But so we took the film after principal photography and we brought it to the editor and we said, you are an editor. We trust your decisions. We have notes, right? And then it gets edited and then we go back and forth for a few revisions. So now it's like they're making things that we didn't even think about in the moment. Like, and then again with a sound, it's like, hey, listen, this is the vibe we want. This is what we want to display. And then the sound, what do you call them? What do you call Bryce? What was his position? Sound design. Like the little sound effects of like the clinking of the stuff, and then the music. Like a lot of that stuff. Like we had notes. We want to hear this, but what those sounds was Bryce. So that's his involvement, right? And Christina just signs off on it. And then again with the color, it's like we have notes. It'll make it look like Ratatouille color wise. And then boom. It's like, oh my God, you've done it. You've done it to a level I couldn't even explain.
Yeah.
So to that theory, it's like everything is out of house. Everything but the writing, she wrote it and she directed it. But the cinematography she didn't do, she had input. The editing she didn't do, she had input. And then that's what makes filmmaking so great. And that's why I give a lot of filmmakers slack, is because a lot of times there's 3 films that are made whenever you make a film. There's the one you write, there's the one you film, and there's the one you edit. And those 3 films, and then the one you see is actually the one that goes through censorship, is like the producers see it. They're like, nah, yeah, our audience won't like that. So there's really 4. But so there's, the film she wrote is not the film you're going to see, but it's the film that she approved along the way. And she kind of curated to make it. So being a filmmaker is pretty exciting in that way.
Are you a shy person?
No, I just wasn't ready.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll love to have you on the episode, too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You can maybe we can show her film, and then you guys can sit down and break it apart. Yeah, the reviews were 3.9. The motif of the red aspect and the dolly zoomed and really.
That one's gonna be break your record. It's gonna be 3 hours.
I watched,
look at this frame.
A whole bunch of just like colorful movies like that. Like one of my favorite movies is Hobo with a Shotgun.
Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, that was like yellows and reds and everything like that. But Damn, I was going to say something else, but the only movie that's stuck in my head right now is Idle Hands right now. I have no idea why.
You have idle hands.
Yeah.
Oh well, thanks so much for having me on.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah,
the
definitely.
audience, I'm not sure which camera. I think I'm on that camera.
Either that or both of them.
Both cameras. You guys can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Travis Flesher. I have a podcast studio, and we produce a butt ton of podcasts. We have clients, and then we have our own. We have a bunch of stuff like Action Junkies, Fitness Junkies, Vegas Junkies. But you guys might be interested if you like scary stuff, spooky stuff. We have Bizarre Junkies, which is a true crime kind of a cryptid kind of podcast. You guys should go check it out. It's Bizarre Junkies, spelled Junkeez. That's kind of like the brand. And you can kind of get your daily fix of cryptids and stuff like that. But you guys would be cool to be at the studio and be on his podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And just review some of the stuff. We don't have a movie podcast yet. We Movie Junkies or Film Junkies
we talked
or whatever.
to him about that. Cinema Junkies, we talked about
something like that might be in the works. Maybe we can get you in our studio to do something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
But I urge all of your audience to go check that out and then do it because we make content that's not podcasting at Sticky Paws. We our Twitter Sticky Paws Crew on Twitter, and we try to be a fun environment as well. So we like kind of like all these like Barstool Sports, Rooster Teeth, Nelk Boys, like there's the content they create, and then there's like the content of them creating the content, and like seeing that stuff is like really illuminating because it's like wow, it's like
behind the scenes.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly, and you really see how much of everyone's a friend. Like George, who was on your show, it's like one of my best friends because I respect him, right? And being on a coworker level and like on a creativity level, like I trust him. And when you put a bunch of people in a room, which we are, all trying to achieve the same goal to be creative and make a little money along the way, you get some amazing stuff. And you guys are on track. You guys have been doing this so well. I mean, you guys have great equipment.
Yeah, thank you.
The only thing you need is just like a studio.
Oh, this is it. No, definitely. Yeah.
But anyways, I hope you guys keep going, and I hope I could be on again, watch another film.
I mean, if you open up Studio C room, we can move our stuff in there. It can be an asset.
No, we're expanding, and then eventually there's gonna be lots of little studios around this town that's owned by us. Oh, it's not just gonna be the one place.
Yeah, of course.
So that's in the future for Sticky Paws as well.
Yeah. Listen, I go by the name of Dom Cruz.
Ill as always.
Your boy Tony Banks.
Oh, and Travis Lesher.
I'm out.